Hey everyone, I wanted to go over once again how to get a side-scrolling background that scrolls continuously without interruption. So the first thing you need are two images, with one of them being a reflection of the other one, mirrored horizontally. So once you get an image, and it works best if you have images that have pretty much don't have things that are going up or down at angles, but are pretty much go straight across. Once you get one of them, you open it in Paint.net, and then you do Image and Flip Horizontal, okay, and then you save the new image as a different file name, with a different file name than the original. So now you'll have two images in the images folder of your game. And then you want to go into your game and make a class, an actor subclass called background. So you'll see right here I have one named background. Then I go into my world and I'm going to make two background variables. I called them B1 and B2. You can call them whatever you want. Just B1 for background 1 and B2 for background 2. And then in the constructor of my world, and I declared these variables in my world, I create two background objects and assign them to be my background variables. So I have B1 equals new background, B2 equals new background. And now I need to assign the images. So I first want to stretch the images so they take up the whole screen. And my backgrounds are called cityb.jpg and citybflipped.jpg. So what I do is I make a Greenfoot image, a local Greenfoot image variable, and assign it the first image. Then I scale the image to be the width of the screen and the height of the screen, and then I set that image for the B1 variable. Okay, and B1 is going to be the one that's on the screen when the game starts up. Then I repeat the process for the other, for the B2 variable. Now notice I don't have to redeclare the Greenfoot image G like on line 30. I can just assign it a new value because I already declared it. Okay, and when I do the second one, I use the other image, but I still scale it to be the width of the screen and the height of the screen. And then finally, I add both the B1 and B2 objects to the screen so that the B1 takes up the entire screen initially. So it's going to go, its center is going to go in the very center of the screen. And then the other one is going to be completely off the screen back to back with the first one. So its left edge is going to be right at the, on the right side edge of the first image, and it's going to be completely off the screen. Okay, so its coordinates are going to be 3 times the width of the screen divided by 2, and then the height of the screen divided by 2. So it's in the same position vertically. Okay, so now I go into my background class, and now I have a game state variable, which you should have as well. And in this situation, I'm only going to have the background scrolling when the game is in startup or running mode. I don't want it, I'm not going to have it scrolling when the game is finished. Now, it's up to you. You can have that, have your background scrolling no matter what. It just depends on what you want your game to look like. Okay, so here is the key lines of code. In the act method, and this is the act method of the background class, I set the location to be 5 pixels to the left of where the location of the background was previously. So it's going to be set location get x minus 5, and then I don't change the height, so I just put get y. And get y, I mean, I don't change the vertical position. It's still going to be centered vertically, so at where it was before. So I say get y. Then the key point, the most important line of code is this one, where I say, oh, if get x less than or equal to negative world.getWidth over 2, so that means the center of the image has gone off the screen to the left, so that the image is completely off the screen, exactly off the screen, or maybe a little bit past the edge of the left edge of the screen, or the um, almost completely off the screen, or slightly even farther off the screen than uh, just completely off the screen. And you have to put less than or equal to, because it's possible depending on how many pixels you're moving the background, how fast you're moving it, it could be that it never hits negative get world over 2. It will just either be slightly bigger than that or slightly less than that. So you want to make sure you put either less than or equal to, and not equals. Okay, so when it goes off the screen, I reposition it completely off the right edge of the screen, so that, and it's going to be back to back with the first one. Now, technically, you would think it would just be 3 times get width over 2, but when I run it with 3 times get width over 2, I think I may see a little vertical line, blank spot. Maybe, nope, it's working. Okay, so if you see a skinny blank line up and down, it means you need to just tweak where you're repositioning your sprites just a little bit, and that would mean, in the case of my game, I may do something like this. Instead of putting it completely off the screen, maybe I'm going to reposition it on the right edge, maybe like a few pixels before it goes off the screen on the left, or I reposition it a few pixels before the very right edge of the screen. So I can do something like that, or -5, or then over here I could maybe do something like that. And between the two of those things, that should prevent that blank line, vertical line that you may see, depending on how quickly you're moving your background off the screen, or to the left, how fast it's scrolling. Okay, so that's the code for getting a scrolling background, and I hope you found that helpful.